I want it. Hey, it's BS Paints. Welcome back to another video. I'm really excited for this one. I'm going to build and paint a 2,000 point Aeldari army in 2 weeks. 222. That doesn't mean anything. So I thought about buying all of it together when it was a box set, and you got all of the pieces for cheap. I thought I'd wait till that was over and then buy it all individually, so it was more expensive. So I really appreciate it. It's an appreciation thing. I thought I'd appreciate it more if I bought them individually and paid more money to Games Workshop. I thought that would be a better thing to do financially. I think I can do it all in 2 weeks. Building is going to take a while, but I think I can paint it all pretty quickly, maybe even a few days. Seeing as I can do it mostly on the airbrush. So I have to pick an airbrush scheme and then just jump into it. Let's just jump into it, you know? That easy. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. Okay, first things first, I'm going to start with the Wraith Guard, who are kind of the basic troop choice for the army. The model is from 2013, which is old, but I think it actually holds up pretty well, just like the rest of the Wraith range, which is why I've wanted the army ever since high school. Now that I have an entire army of them, it's most likely going to be refreshed in the next year or two, just so I get screwed over. That's generally how it goes. The models are pretty good, but if I have one gripe with the model design, it's that the two gun choices have very similar designs, and I honestly had to sit there staring at the sprue for 5 minutes before I was able to tell the two apart. Cutting the part from the sprue, you obviously want to be super careful to not cut anything off the actual part. This is particularly difficult if the part is high detail, or in this case attached to a rounded edge. You want to clip a little way off the connecting point and then come in later with your sharp hobby knife and cut away the excess, as this means you won't F up the model. I'm also paying attention to what I glue together, as some parts like the heads I'm going to keep them separate, as it'll be easier to paint them a different colour later on with the airbrush and not get any overspray on any of the other parts of the model. Easy. This is called sub-assembly and is really good for speeding up painting time or just making it easier to reach hard to see places. But be warned, you can end up with a bunch of smaller parts, and if you aren't going to paint the model up right away, you're going to play with them before gluing them back together, then you may lose the pieces, which I've done. Or just play with what looks like an unbuilt army, which in some states of America I hear is a legal practice, and you could be sent to jail. For my Wraith Lord, I hate the way the model is posed straight out of the box, but luckily for me and you, the conversion to give it more of an action pose is super simple. I start by cutting the leg at the knee so I can add a bend and then repose the wrist slightly so that the sword is facing down. I also have to scrape off a couple of the little warty bumps Elder loves so much, so that I could push the arms further into the pose I wanted them to be in. The final pose I went for is more of a bracing to shoot pose, as opposed to the chilling outside the pub having a ciggy pose that they come with. I also wanted to keep the model as clutter-free as possible, so I didn't put any big guns on its shoulders, but kept the weapons on the arms. I think it looks a lot better, personally. Personally, I think it looks way better. And if you buy second-hand models, they come all fucked up because they've put the guns on the wrong places and it looks terrible. So, I mean, I'm not telling you to buy more models, but like, yeah, maybe. And that's all the models built, so it's time to destroy the boxes. Wahoo! Wahoo! More! Forgot about these. Guess I gotta make them. And we're back to it. It's gonna be the exact same thing that we've just done. I did all of these models in one day. It's not too hard. Stuff like this that's got kind of most of it in one big part is fairly simple. I timed this. It took half an hour to clip and clean all of the sprue, and then another half an hour to glue it all together. Now this kit's a bit old and it didn't fit together the best, but it's really looking, honestly. Especially if I never zoom in, you can't actually see how bad it is. So maybe I'll never zoom in. Also, the plastic, it's obvious that, I think, well, I say it's obvious, but I think this is all hand sculpted and old molds, and that leads to just kind of a bumpy surface on the supposedly smooth parts. It's a bit gross, but it's actually kind of good, because if you paint something and it's a bit lumpy, you won't notice, because it will blend in with the power of artistry. You can blend it in with the lumpy bits already on the model, and then you can't even tell. So when your mum or your dad come and look at your model and they go, "Wow, it's a bit lumpy," you go, "No. That's not fucking fair. It was like that when I found it." Okay? And if you think you can just barge into my room and criticize my painting that I've spent hours doing, you got another thing coming, Buster. Or not. Or you could just say, "Oh, it's just shit painting." I don't know. It's up to you. It's your family. I don't want to tell you how to live your life. But that's what I'd do anyway. No, I wouldn't actually. That's not true at all. I'd be hurt. Just hurt. Quiet and hurt. Quiet and hurt. For the second Wraith Lord, I thought I'd just do something different. He's now leaping majestically off this little bit of terrain, and for his weapon, instead of a sword, I gave him a Dark Elder rudder, because it kind of looks like a sword. Kinda. And hey presto, it's done. All of 2,000 points. Oh. Ugh. I got a couple sore fingies throughout the process, but you know what? He's done. I had a good time doing this. We're only halfway through, because as you can see, you can't have a grey model. You got to paint it up. So in the next video, I'm gonna paint it up in, I don't know what colours yet, but they're gonna be good. I tell you what, and you'll want to be there. You want to be just the first to like, comment, and subscribe for sure. So that's it. It's done. Hallelujah. It took a week to do, but it's finally done, and I'm gonna see you guys definitely, because you're definitely gonna come back. I'm gonna see ya in the next video, where I pick a scheme and I paint them up and they look freaking epic. I hope.